Hi, this is Donna Demko with Stampin' Up, and I have had a request to show how I made a card that I made for my husband for his birthday, which is today. So I actually gave him this card for his birthday, and it is a shaker card. Now I have seen the Etch-a-Sketch card on Pinterest, but people kind of just used vellum and didn't really have anything inside of it here, but I actually like the idea that if you had an Etch-a-Sketch, remember you'd shake that and the sand in there would make all the words go away. So I really wanted to make a card that actually had a little bit of glitter or sand or something inside of here, that it actually looked and sounded, if you hear that, like the sand working in the Etch-a-Sketch. So today I'm going to show you how to make this. A lot of people are making this with rounded corners and a red background. I don't know why, but I just like mine put on a black background, and I like the square corners. So you could do it really however you like, if you want to round off the corners or not. So let's get started on making this card right here. First, what you need to do is take your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, and you want to cut a piece of paper. I did black. And it's going to be at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. So that's what I've done right here to make the base of our card. And these are the supplies you're going to need. So I'm just going to run them all off right here, and then we'll put it all together, okay? You will need a scrap white, whisper white piece of paper. You will need to cut a Sahara sand and a window sheet at 3 3/4 by 5, and I've made this just a little bit smaller than my window here that I did for my front of my shaker card, my Etch-a-Sketch. Now I have cut this out. You could do this 3 ways, so I'm going to tell you all 3 ways. I don't have the handy tool that I need to do this, so I improvised. What I saw the young ladies using online was, let me thumb through here real quick. They used this framelit right here. This is the new catalog on page 167 of the new catalog. And they use the Project Life Cards and Label Framelit die, and they use this large one here. I don't have that. I don't do a lot of Project Life, so I don't do any Project Life. So I had to improvise. They have 2 of them in here, but I believe this is the one that they use right here. That one's a great die. It is die number 135707. It is called the Labels Framelits dies. I don't have that, and I need a nice rectangle, so I improvised. I found something I had. You could either take this on your trimmer and cut it to the measurements you need, or I don't usually do this, but I did have the Spellbinders A2 rectangles. It is the card creator, A2 card creator, and I used the number 3, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I use the number 6, which is the 2 3/8 by the by 3 5/8. And that is these 2 right here. So it's the largest, and then the 4th one in. So I used these 2, and the easiest way I could think to do this was I just took my real red paper, stuck it in my Big Shot, and I used the large one here. And then I wanted to move the center up a little bit because we have to have a space to put our little white knobs. So I just took this one, and you'll notice it cuts it out perfectly, and I just moved it up. I didn't square it in the middle like you would do a frame. I moved it up so I have space down here for my little knobs to work. So that's what I used, and that was my improv. But if you do have the Project Life framelit, it's a lot easier to use as well. Anyway, those are your parts to make this. So what we're going to do first is we want to go ahead and print out, I've got stickies. oh, sorry, that was my sizing for the real red, but I already gave that to you. 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take my Sahara sand, because we are going to print our message on here. And what I do with this, because I have moved my area up a little bit, I want to make sure I get it on my paper. And you'll notice that when I cut this paper, the sizing I gave you makes it just a bit smaller than my red, so nothing shows out this over the edge of my red. So what I did was I went ahead and put my red frame on here, and I just kind of lined it up where I wanted it. And then I took, because I didn't want like ink lines to show or pen lines to show, I just took my Stampin' Up! Chalk marker and just put a dot in each of these corners. Once you get this all put together, you won't even see those dots. So that's what I did. And then on this one, I used the Happy Birthday stamp set. You know what? I think this one's retired. It was a hostess gift. It was called a hostess stamp. It was called Happy Birthday Everyone, and you see the Happy Birthday at the bottom. That it makes it a really nice size for this card base. But you can really use anything. I'll give you a couple suggestions. You could use flowers on here. You can use any of the stamp sets that looks like a nice Etch-a-Sketch background. Let me look through the catalog. This is the catalog I'm talking about. Our new catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator and you need a catalog, please shoot me an email, let me know. If you want to become a customer of mine, I can shoot you out a free catalog. Anyway, I want to suggest a couple of different, oh, here's a nice one. Look at this. Thank you so much. That's a nice big stamp set that would work great on here. Let me find the front of my red card. You can see how that would look. Or let's do this fast because my videos always last so long. Anything like this, like Oh Happy Day, anything that has a nice size on it would be great. Look at the size here. You're the best. You just have to look around in the catalog when you get it and find a nice stamp set that might work great. Here's one. Our Friendship is a Work of Art. This is the new Painter's Palette stamp set, and that actually works really, really well. I haven't even used this yet. It's brand new. But that actually is a really nice size for your framelit, your frame of your Etch-a-Sketch. Anything on watercolor words, look at this, how nice that looks. And this is actually really, really light and looks like Etch-a-Sketch. It actually looks like somebody wrote that out, and it's like the real pale look. Look at that. You're the best. So that would be great. Something like this. One more. Hooray, thanks. Happy Day right here. Those would all be really, really good. You can also do just anything. If you find anything in the book, sorry, mine is so tabbed. I'm telling you, I have really just looked through this thing like crazy. Look at this new one here. Get all my stuff off of here. Which is the sitting here. If you actually did a little scene with that. So you could do anything in your Etch-a-Sketch. But anyway, let's get started in building our card. So this is our original card. We're going to take our background and put it away. And our front. This is going to be for our knobs. And let's just get to working on our Sahara sand. And give me one moment because I forgot to bring my stamp pad over here. I am using the basic gray stamp pad. Get me a block here. A little messy block. And let's get out the Happy Birthday. I was thinking about bringing this closer to me because it's harder back here. My sewing machine's underneath this thing, so it's a little soft in the middle. And I don't have the original backing top on this, so let me see. Let's try to center that right in the middle of those little white dots. Make sure we get a nice stamp off, or I will be pausing this and making another Sahara Sea in the background. Okay, that looks pretty good. And if it does, I mean, this is supposed to be a little look pale like that. That's why I didn't do it in black. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. Let me close this before I wear this color. Basic gray looks good as far as clothing, but I don't want it on my arms like a tattoo. So what I did with the card here is I looked up basic gray in our marker set, or gray in our marker set. I didn't get that out just yet, so I am going to just look up. I have all my Copics up here, so I'm just going to pull a Copic and in gray and just mark off a line here and mark off a line here, because you know when you're doing the Etch-a-Sketch you have to start somewhere and bring it in. So I mean, I haven't seen anybody else do this, and it may seem to be messy, but I do it because that's what my Etch-a-Sketch, what I remember my Etch-a-Sketch looked like. So now that we have our background stamped, that was the hard part, everybody. This all gets so easy. It's just crazy thinking how easy this card is. We want to take our window sheet that we get from Stampin' Up, and I want to go ahead and, got some red on there. That real red gets everywhere. I want to go ahead and put it and connect it to my front here. So I'm just going to use, you can use anything you want. If you like to use the Tombow liquid glue, or I'm just going to use a fast fuse, because the fast fuse actually goes around this pretty nicely as well. And I'm going to get, ooh, that's sticky. Let me put, I don't want to put too much. Hang on, I gotta get this thing going again. There we go. Because I don't want to get this past my clear window. Okay, so we have that. Let's get our window sheet connected here. Ta-da! I'm really surprised I didn't mess that up. Now, what you can do before you put this window sheet on is go ahead and take your Versamark and your Stampin' Up powder white embossing powder, and go ahead and whatever message you want to put down here. I put "To a Wonderful Man" because I give it to my husband. You may want to put something else down there. So that's where you would go ahead at this point and do your embossing and get that done before you put your clear sheet on, because you don't want to warp that clear sheet with the heat from your gun. So next what we want to do is, we've got our window done. We're getting ready to put it onto here. So I am going to, another thing, I have this all coming in Monday because I did my 2 pre-orders, and then I just did 2 more orders on June 1st, and I have this coming, but I was hoping it would come before I made this video, but it isn't yet, and it comes Monday. So I know, Patty, you wanted me to get this video out there, and I wanted to do it on the weekend, but this is what you would be using, because this is perfect for window cards or shaker cards. It is the foam adhesive strips, and they're these lovely foam strips to go right around here nice and neat and make your shaker cards. I don't have that right now. I do have it coming, so I am going to use some foam tape, and we're going to stick that around our edge. One thing I would suggest while I'm doing this is this. I did this card with glitter. I just used some glitter crystals, and if you've ever worked with glitter, you know that glitter and this little window sheet, they're like magnets. And you can see it on here. I don't mind it so much because this is supposed to be an Etch-a-Sketch, but it will stick to your window sheet. So what I do is I take my little embossing buddy here. I'm going to do this next. I want to get this on first because I don't want it to get powder on here and this not adhere well. So let me get these on first. And luckily I made this thick enough to where it's not going to show over the edge. Perfect. So let's get that on. Just need to stick a couple pieces because we don't want it, we have to connect the edges. We don't want that glitter falling out at all because we don't want to give this to somebody and when they go to shake it, they get coated in just a pretty little coating of glitter. We don't want to make them all look like fairy dust, but we want them to have fun, especially when this is given to a child. Now, these are fun to give to a kid, but grown-ups like to get these as well. Grown-ups love shaker cards, and I know my nieces and nephews love the shaker cards, but I gave this to my husband. He thought this one was pretty cool. So we're just going to go ahead and get our, there we go, our foam tape on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and wipe it now that this is all sticking on there. You know what, I think I'm going to do it this way. Take my little embossing buddy. I'm just going to kind of pat around the edges here. This is not going to prevent it from sticking completely, but it will help. And you don't have to use glitter. You can use, let's see what I have around here. I just have this little thing where I have lots of little pretties in there, so you can use something like that. Or we have, this is probably discontinued because I always buy these and keep them on hands just for shaker cards, but the embellishments that we get, you can stick those in there, but the glitter just looked like sand, and I didn't want to go too fine of a glitter, so I have actually done, you can get a jumbo glitter, or glitter crystals, a bigger type of glitter, so that's what I did. So I'm going to take this and just pour my, you know what, I might just take that over this as well. Couldn't hurt, right? So let's just take this, and you know what, it doesn't matter if it does make it look a little lighter because the Etch-a-Sketch, if you remember, back that far, before cell phones, iPads, and all that, they were kind of light. So you don't even have to put a whole lot in here. Just put down a chunk of it. Another thing, before they came out with the foam strips, Stampin' Up! Made your shaker frames, which is the little circular foam strips, which is really, really cool as well, especially when you're making a circle window. These are great. I haven't even used mine yet, but I'm going to keep this on hand because until I get mine on Monday, I was going to use these, and I just grabbed my other one instead. I want to just tap this out a little bit because I don't want to be too thick when I put my card on. And I'll probably run this glitter all over my face for the rest of the day. There we go. Now, I'll set this out, take off my the covering for my foam tape. I had to close my windows because the neighbor kids are just screaming out there. Whatever happened? If I did that when I was growing up, you know, those parents would be out there. My parents would be telling me what for, making me behave. I don't know what's up with these kids and parents these days, that they just let them scream all over the neighborhood. Alright. I'm sorry if my head gets in the way, but I want to make sure that I get this down. where those 4 dots are. And now you have your glitter. I put a little bit more in here than I did the other one. You don't need this much. You need, this actually is idea. Just a little bit here, see, because then you can actually read the words, but it still looks like the shaker card. This one definitely looks like a little bit too much glitter, so by all means go a little bit smaller, a little bit less glitter than I just did. But still, you see that this is making a really cute card. So all you have to do now is take this and stick it to the front of your card. I see a little bit of beige sticking through there, so give me just a moment to trim that off as soon as I... Okay. So, that's the end of that. We just need to get, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and fast fuse this on. So, if you just went with your red backing, that's fine. Then you wouldn't need to make sure you had a black trim all the way around. But I like the black trim, so hey, my card, my rules, right? Let's see if I can get this down without. Come on, Donna, you can do it. Alright, that looks good enough. They're going to love this card so much anyway, it doesn't matter what you do to it. So now we need our little knobs, and I saw some people who did these little starlit knobs here. I don't have that, so I'm going to improvise again. And I just took white paper, and I used my 3/4 inch punch, Stampin' Up! Punch. I have glitter all over my desk now. And I punched out a couple of knobs for my little, ooh, I actually did shimmer white here. I had a scrap, I used it. And that's what I used for the little knobs here. And see how flat that looks? Another thing that I added was dimensionals here because I want my buttons to pop up. You can even put 2 dimensionals on it if you're not mailing it, but if you are going to mail it, I would suggest just 1 dimensional on here because you want it to be able to fit in that card without the postman saying, hey, going through the machine and just ripping those knobs right off for you. So you just want 2. Now on this one I have 1 dimensional on that. I'm going to put 2 on there and show you what that looks like, okay? So let's take that top off there and put another dimensional on there. Ugh. Stuck to my thumb. Let's stick it on there. Oops, I have to take the top off. Alrighty, it wants to just stay on my finger there, so we'll just put another one on top of that. So now I have these 2 dimensionals high, and that one should really pop off the paper nicely and look like little knobs. Just stick that right there. Yeah, that's sweet. Okay, take that one off. Stick our other knob there. So this one has 2 dimensionals, and that pops off a lot. Oops, I don't know if you can see that. Further off the card. So there you have it. Those are our shaker Etch-a-Sketches, and I did change it up a little bit from what I've been seeing online because to me this is a Etch-a-Sketch. I think the other ones are really pretty, but really they're just putting vellum over and stamping on vellum. It doesn't have the 3-dimension that an Etch-a-Sketch does, and this to me has that nice 3-dimension. Especially the whole effect was to shake that sand up in there and make your words disappear and then start all over again. Another thing I thought about is trying to remember if Stampin' Up! Still has them, but they had white buttons that had some ridges in there, and wouldn't that be cute as your little knobs down here? So those are 2 options, and you can see that I used the light gray in here, and it looks so much better and makes it really look like an Etch-a-Sketch. And I thought that was adorable. So this is my take on the Etch-a-Sketch card. And I would definitely white emboss something here. It could even be a name. How cool would that be if it's a kid's name? So definitely do something white embossed here. Make yourself an Etch-a-Sketch. And then if you would like, if you like this tutorial, you can follow me on www. Maybe get that up on the screen and it would be better, huh? Sorry about that. www.facebook.com//Donna's Creative Corner, and creative is CR8TIVE Corner. I just put that in there just to make it more difficult for you guys to find me, I guess. But anyway, and you can order any of your supplies on donna.demco. I'm sorry, www.donnademco.stampinup.net. And those are two ways that you can find me. I do have a blog on this one, and I have a Facebook page on this that has tutorials. I actually do visit the Facebook page a lot more frequently, so that's a great way to catch me. But I hope that you have a lot of fun being creative, and I do hope that you give this card a try, because how cute is that? That is such a cute card. And whether it is a child or a grown-up, they both get as much of a kick out of it as anybody else. And it's really a cute card. My husband actually takes a pile of these. I notice he has a stack, and he saves all my cards I give them, which he better. But anyway, check me out on Facebook and visit my blog and my store, my Stampin' Up! Store on donnademco.stampinup.net. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.